main thing I want to talk to you today is about the $500 million bond proposal for Ranger Stadium. Now, this is not Ranger Stadium 1, this is Ranger Stadium 2. Ranger Stadium 3, I guess is what it is.
Yeah, it would be 3.
But since I've been politically active, it's only 2. There was one about 22 years ago, 24 years ago, that wound up providing, I think it was $135 million, give or take. I'm sure I've got Ron back here who's going to correct me if I get something wrong. He was a proponent of that, and he was a supporter of that proposal, and that created the current Ranger Stadium. If you go to the Ranger Stadium today, you will see a building that looks like it could have been built last year. It's a beautiful building. That was not true 25 years ago whenever we voted on Rangers 2. So it's very different than what it was 22 years ago, 25 years ago. What they want to do is they want to pass a $500 million bond package. It's going to be paid for by a passive sales tax. So it's going to pick up where the Cowboys leave off, and it's going to tear down the current stadium completely and build another stadium 2 blocks away with a roof on it and 10,000 fewer seats.
Really?
Okay? Does that make sense?
Yep.
10,000?
Okay. And
higher ticket prices.
There may be higher ticket prices. I don't know. I go so rarely. It's a pleasant game. I'm sure lots of people enjoy it, but yeah, it's not my game. So they want to do this because the Rangers want it. That's the bottom line. That's the stated reason on the Arlington City Council website. The Rangers desire a roof. It's all about the roof. They believe that they get a roof, then things will be better for them. So they're going to take 10,000 seats out, they're going to put a roof on it, they're going to tear down the existing stadium. What's that? They could put a roof on the existing stadium. What they say is that it would be very expensive. Now, nobody's shown me an estimate of why that would be. I really suspect that the right answer on that, and this is just a suspicion, is to interfere with gameplay. And so that's what I really think it is. But there is a feeling amongst the city fathers of Arlington that you have to give the Rangers this money or they'll go away. They'll go to Dallas. And the reigning theory that is really believed by our city fathers in Arlington is that there will be a millionaire crowdsource funding of the stadium. People will just fork out, all the millionaires in Dallas will fork out a bunch of money and they'll build the stadium out of nowhere. Now, in case you're not aware, these things are only paid for with sales tax. So you go to the store, you pay $1, you get 8 1/4 in most cities. You only pay 8 cents in Arlington. But in most cities, you pay 8 1/4. Out of that amount, about 2 cents goes to the city, and the rest of it goes to the state. Right? You can only do so much with that, and you can't continue to have it beyond a certain amount. So most cities are at their max. Dallas is at its max, and it spends a full penny on dart. Most cities spend a half penny to a penny on dart or the tee or something like that. So they just can't say, we're going to raise our sales tax another half cent. They're not allowed to by state law. So there's no easy way for Dallas just to say, we are going to give you $500 million to build this stadium, do what you want, and bring you over. They don't have it under their cap.
You're welcome, Ashton. Spread the word.
They can say that we're going to come up with money. Rawlings and over in Dallas has said that they can come up with money, but they can't come up anywhere near $500 million. So our city fathers are not spending their own money, but desperate not to see that the Rangers leave town under their watch, are willing to give them whatever they can give them. So we gave the Cowboys $1/3 of $1 billion, and they figured that the Rangers, having its history, was worth for $500 million. Just a few things. You're going to hear claims, and you should. I think that everybody who graduates from any high school in America should understand certain things. When a politician says, if we just take $50 to $100 away from you a year, we can create 1,000 new jobs. What everybody in this country should understand is that money was already making jobs, and you're going to destroy jobs over here and move them over here. It's not as though this money is being kept under a bed somewhere and it's not doing anything. It's greedy, Jones. It's doing what it does. So when you say, I'm going to raise your half-cent sales tax, what you're saying is, where does that come from? Does it come from your utilities? No, your utilities are going to still be paid 100%. Does it come from your mortgage? It comes from the disposable income. So instead of spending $1,000 a month on going out to eat, doing all the things that you wind up doing that are disposable, you're going to spend $995. $5 is going to go to the Rangers. And so over the course of a year, the average person here is going to spend somewhere between $100 and $200 more if they spend it all in Arlington. That money is not noticed by the average person. Nobody looks in their wallet at the end of the month and says, well, I was going to go eat and spend $20, but instead I'm only going to spend $15. They don't think that. They just simply don't have it. And so the city fathers who think that this is a freebie, they don't think that you care, and you really may not care, but the economy does. The economy feels it. And what this does is it drives everything down one notch. Instead of going to eat at Piccolamando, you go eat at someplace one notch less. Instead of Papado, you go to someplace that's a little bit less. Instead of going to buy a blouse at Target, you go to Walmart. Everything goes down just a little bit. And who that hurts the most is your upper end shops and services that places like Arlington need desperately. In the last couple of rounds of sports stadiums, we've had people running around, certain ex-mayors running around with a map of everything that has been caused by the nirvana and economic development around the stadiums. It includes such ostentatious organizations as the post office. It actually lists that on their map. So I went to a Facebook page on Arlington, and I said, give me all the list of businesses that have failed in the last 20 years. And man, people went nuts. And I've got this long list. So if this map pops up again, and I'm warning people who are going to tell that ex-mayor, if he pops up with that map and says, look at all the wonderful things that this place has brought us, that the Ranger Stadiums have brought us, I'm going to show them the list of places that have failed. Are either of those claims going to be fair? Absolutely not. It's not fair to say every business that's grown up in Arlington during the time this Ranger Stadium's been here is because of Ranger Stadium. Nor is it fair to say that every stadium, every organization that's failed is because of that. It's just neither one of those are real. But it is true that you have this pressure on upper end organizations. It dumbs everything down. You'll see claims of, well, we have $77 million a year. That's on the Arlington City Council website right now. $77 million a year. You should ask yourself, where do these numbers come from? How do you get this? This is what they really do. They look at sales tax receipts on game days, and they assume, and I kid you not, they assume that every dollar spent at a restaurant on game day is because of the game. As though if it's not game day, nobody goes to eat anywhere in Arlington. It's only because of Rangers. People get up in the morning and say, well, it's game day, let's go to Denny's and have breakfast. You think I'm joking, but they'll put these conclusions out. They will not release the study. We've asked for it multiple times. Show us the study that says that you've got $77 million. And it may have 77. Let me back up. It may have $77 million of impact. But how much impact have we had anyway? People do go out to eat anyway. If you don't have the Rangers in town, people say, well, I've got to spare money. I was going to spend on a Rangers ticket, but I guess I'll just burn it. I'm not going to do anything with that. No, you're going to go out to eat anyway. So when we talk about $77 million worth of impact, we're talking about moved impact from one place to another. Now, there may be some positive impact that the Ranger Stadium has. I don't know if it is or not. Maybe it's 5 million, maybe it's 10 million. I don't know. I don't know what it is. We can't get a straight answer because they won't release the study, and frankly, it's difficult to do these kinds of studies. But it's not $77 million of new economic impact because Ranger Stadiums are here. I'll get there. The other thing that you'll hear a lot is, well, outsiders, those foreigners, they'll pay half that money. Does it ever make you feel good when the criminal holds you up and says, I'm going to take $50 from the next guy too? Does that make you feel better? You know, hey, it's okay. We're taking money from everybody. Don't feel bad.
Oh, I feel much better.
Besides the fact that shouldn't make a difference. let's talk about what it really does. How do they figure that out? They look at Visa billing addresses on game day. That's how they do it. So they assume, again, everybody who's in Arlington eating restaurants on game day is because we have a game. And so we're going to take advantage of that. We're going to say everything is there because it's game day. It's just, these are assumptions that do not hold water. Every economist that is not paid by one side or the other will come out and say that these things are negligible benefit, if a benefit at all. We have some real anecdotal, non-scientific factoids that you can look at. You can look at Cowboy Stadium, where it was, here I'm moving around, I'm sorry. The Ranger Stadium, or Cowboy Stadium was sitting there Irving for 30 years. And I was going to school at UD in the 1980s. And there was no more economic development around that stadium whenever it moved to Arlington than it was when I was going to school at UD. You can look at the economic development in South Arlington right now, and you can see with the greatest of ease. You don't have to have a BS in economics. You can just have a lot of BS. Now, you can see that the north part of town is not developing as well as the south. It's just an easy, obvious thing to see. Did the Highlands in South Arlington become what it is because of Ranger Stadium? No, it did not. It simply did not. So, and as you get closer, you pass by Six Flags Mall, which is in great shape today, right? Oh,
Yeah.
no, it's not. And people will say, well, surely on game day, with all this traffic, it's doing great things. Sometimes it is. But ask yourself, if you wanted to have a restaurant, and you're going to have X number of seats in your restaurant, the best thing for you as a restaurateur is to have all of those seats filled all the time. It's not to have an empty restaurant 2 days out of the week, out of every third, and every third day be full. That is not the way to success.
Nope.
You can look at, back when I was a child, and I came down here from Oklahoma City, and we'd go to eat at Steak and Ale that hung on by a nail forever across the street from Six Flags. Forever, the thing held on. It's not today. These restaurants, the closer it is, even Six Flags, you've got a whole season of busyness. It still struggles. The closer you are to a seasonal or non-constant business environment, the more you're going to struggle. These stadiums, I will not say that they are cancerous, but I will say that there is a lack of development around them. And you cannot make the argument that they are good for development. They are not good for development. The people who say that they are want to pretend as though if they didn't have a stadium, it'd be a big black hole, there'd be nothing there. There'd be nothing there. There wouldn't be any nice homes there. There wouldn't be a country club. Back in the old day, we had Johnson Creek 1. That was I think it was 27-hole golf course, something like that. It was going to take a lot of eminent domain. It was going to create a nice place where you could live, and all those houses would pay taxes, and they'd be a nice area. So maybe that would have been better for us. I don't know. I worked against that. Silly me. The point is that you have to compare what might be there anyway. And the truth is that Parks Mall, during the 4-day week of Thanksgiving, produces more economic impact than the Ranger Stadium all year long. All year long.
Wow.
And if somebody, I've been saying this for years, and nobody ever,
Who knew?
the bureaucrats that can prove me wrong, never do. They never do. So a couple of things that you're going to hear. What is it worth? I've said openly that if we could get a compromise at $200 million or less, that would be worth it. Why would I compromise to that? I had an old friend of mine tell me once that they're going to spend all the money. I hate these big city fights. They destroy friendships. They put a serious rip in the fabric of the civic discourse that happens. You're either a bad guy or a good guy. You have serious relationships that are sometimes permanently wounded because you have these big fights. If we could buy off the Rangers for $200 million, we use up the sales tax, so it's all used up, or most of it's used up, so we don't have another big fight, and we keep out mass transit, which is, of course, one of my major goals. It's another topic, but if you could just make some kind of compromise that's reasonable, $500 million is so bad that I think we can beat it. Any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Warren, I've heard very, okay, I've heard very little about all of those ballpark suites. And I'm not sure if they're long-term contracts. You know, we've got a bunch of them in there. What's going to happen? I did hear something about how they're going to chop off the stadium and leave those,
I got your question. The question is, what are we going to do with the existing structure? Okay, you know, the current, are we there? Good? Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
The current
Sorry.
structure has a lot of office space.
Feedback.
And they're nice. And they look out at the ballpark and people come out and watch the game from people's various offices. The answer is we don't know yet. People say that we're going to knock the ballpark down, we're going to leave the offices. It's really up in the air. No one can say authoritatively what that is. Where we are today is the council, and this is a funny thing happened.
It's not me.
During the last Cowboy election, this short time after the May elections, everybody knows how the cycle is, right? You have the May city council elections get going in this January, and you have the election in May, right?
In a minute.
And then what they do is they have, when you want the low information voters to show up and vote for your name, you put it in a presidential November election. So, amazingly, the same exact cycle occurred with Cowboys as is happening today. Less than a week after the council elections, they announced fait accompli, a Latin word which is, we've already done it to you, and now you're going to find out what we did to you. And they said, this is the deal. Magic came out of nowhere. I have said, and I will say it again, that corporately the city council has been disingenuous and not acted with honor for the city voters. They should have announced this thing in December. We should have had plenty of people to talk about it during city council elections, and then it would have been better for the whole city. But they didn't do that. They announced it fait accompli the week after the city council elections, and now we're going to have, I'll get there, and now we're going to have a general election with the lowest information voters having the most impact. This is exactly the same cycle as Cowboys. The city council voters will say, oh, I can't believe you say we were acting in bad faith. People know we've been talking about this for months, years. Nobody knew about it except a few select group. If it had been open and discussed during the city council elections, you might have a very different picture. Yes, sir.
You mean me?
Belongs to the stadium, do we derive income from it, like in terms of rent in Arlington? And what is the effect of the name Globe Life? Do they pay a fee or something? What's the income?
We got money, we get lease money, is it $1 million or $2 million? $2 million a year from the current Ranger Stadium lease. Did we get money during the name sale? I don't think we got any money from that. So that's,
You're kidding.
Ron knows a lot about the current deal that I don't know. I just look at, what I'm looking at is the new proposal, and I am open to a reasonable compromise on this thing. I just think $500 million is crazy talk. Yes, sir. Yes.
Years ago, bringing some tenants, what is it? There you go.
Well, it has always been true that the best way to fill seats is to have a winning team. You can't borrow money to get a winning team. You can only borrow money to lower your expensive housing expenses by having somebody else pay for your housing. You had a question? Yes.
All right, you mentioned earlier that a study was never presented. That's kind of not true. I asked for a study in an open records request, and they said there was none. However, they did put forth 2 different PDF little slideshows that contain nebulous information, and we have taken the liberty of posting it on our website, Citizens for a Better Arlington, and the word "for" is really the number 4. So it's Citizens, the number 4, abetterarlington.com. Anyway, on that, we did take the liberty of posting the 2 PDF files that we actually got from Richard Green, who on an innocuous.
Yeah, let me tell you what an economic study does. An economic study would have something like, here are the sales tax receipts for the last 25 years by zip code. You can go right now to the state comptroller, the state of Texas comptroller, and you can download the last 15 years or so. When you do that by zip code, you will not see a great, awesome growth. I think that if you do it, and I haven't done this yet, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a graph, growth across by year, and then sales receipts by zip code. And I think when you do that, you'll find that you cannot spot when the stadiums were built. You will be able to spot when Highland Park, when the Highlands was created. You'll be able to see that in that zip code.
Yeah.
But you will never see a big spike or an upgrade that you can attribute to the stadium. You just won't see it. It's in the noise. And when I say in the noise, I'm using an engineering term. I mean, it's real in the same way that you affect the climate, but it's this much. There's lots of other things that have a bigger impact. Having a Super Bowl in your city has a bigger impact. Making the playoffs has a small impact. But just having a stadium in your spot, you're the biggest winner for the Arlington Stadium people in Grand Prairie because all their hotels get full too. It doesn't really matter where the stadium is. All of the hotels are full everywhere. So these people that say, well, we need to have it here, we're going to lose economic impact. Other cities are getting economic impact of us having a stadium here. We will get the impact if it moves somewhere. Although I have really zero belief it's going to move. I got 2 more questions and I got something else.
Just a comment at this point. The day at the council meeting after the election, just ensure that the council was disingenuous. Case in point. Our brand new Arlington City Councilwoman Victoria Ferraro-Myers was not sworn in to vote on the ballpark deal. They knew, they didn't know actually which way she was going to vote, and they were bound and determined to have a unanimous vote. So they kept Jimmy Bennett for that night's vote. They didn't want.
Although I would be happy to agree that you're disingenuous, it's not altogether surprising that Jimmy wanted to have his last vote be for the Rangers. The other question, we were done.
Yes, I did. Wouldn't that make property taxes go up with the homes that were around that new stadium? Wouldn't it make them rise?
Well, the question is, wouldn't it make property taxes go up around the stadium?
Yeah.
And if the theory that the city fathers put forth were valid, it would. But in fact, it's not. If you're right there and you're being bought out by the Rangers, then maybe you're going to do okay. But if you're a restaurant closer to the stadium, you're going to struggle more than if you were a restaurant farther away from the stadium. That's just the bottom line. That's just economic reality. People want to say it's not like that, but you can just look at it. It's not hard. And every economist, like I said, the economics, professional economists have a solid wall of yes, this is not a good deal for your city, generally speaking. Okay. I want to stop now, and I want to take the time to introduce the next speaker.